Yeah, take us through your property journey then. Like, what did you get to do? How much? Where you are? How did it go? And all the lessons and things within.
Okay, so I bought the first property with two partners. This was quite a large property. It was a corner plot property, and again, first property. I probably should have done this, but it was a good lesson. It wasn't bad or anything at all. We bought it above market value, so we didn't do what everybody would tell you today: buy below market value or even buy at market value. So we paid above market value, but with a vision we could do something with the property. We converted it into 3 flats, and we converted it into 3 flats, and we used one as a HMO. So right from the offset, it was about diversifying, making sure that we can reduce our risk right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Whereas if we convert it into 3 flats, we've got 3 different incomes coming in. One of them is a HMO, so we've diversified that property. We should be able to cover the mortgage or profits. And this was a really good model. It worked really well, and nobody else was at that time doing something like this. I hadn't seen anybody else doing something like this, so I replicated this and carried on. But from the second property onwards, I actually didn't have any money or very much money, so I had to get more money down. So I had to find ways of doing it. Now that same friend who had told me get into property because he used to work in an estate agent, he had seen what I'd done with this property. He was like, "Can we do the same thing?"
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yes, we can. Find a property. The only problem is I got no money. Because okay, I have actually found a property that I'll come to you, and I've got somebody that will lend us the money. Can you find a way of how we can pay them back? So it was like, okay, if they can lend us the money for 6 months, 7 months, then we can do all the work that's necessary, refinance, and pay them back. Would that work? Because I can arrange that. So so that's the second property. We've done a similar thing. Bought a large property, converted this one into 2 flats, made one of them a HMO, used that one as a single let, and again that model just worked really well. So it was a really good model to replicate. And even to this day, I still own those properties because they're very good income generating properties.
Yeah. Wow, that's really good, and that's the key there, isn't it? Because if you look at that model, then to some extent it doesn't matter whether you're actually buying at market value or even slightly above, because you're creating that value in those properties and then extracting that value through the refinance process in a way. So to an extent, you can probably get to do more, isn't it? Because you're not competing at the below market value properties, because if you can't find those, or there's a lot of competition of people actually getting those, then you can get stuck in terms of your progression. But with your model, you can just, anything that is ideal, whether it's at market value, you can still pursue it and actually get to do stuff from there. So you must have built up quite a decent portfolio doing that model. Do you work with other investors as well?
Well, what I did end up doing was, during this time, I was always looking, as I said, I was always looking to buy properties, but there was very little money, so I had to find creative ways to purchase properties. So it became finding ways to have no money left in or very little money left in, and today what we call no money down. Those types of strategies. Again, back then it wasn't being taught, so it was trial and error, trying to find things. And it was really difficult back then, because if you went to a solicitor and you tried to explain what you're doing or you wanted to do, majority of solicitors would turn around and they'll be like, "Well, we only do vanilla conveyancing." Whereas now you have a lot more solicitors out there that are willing to be a bit creative. So it's again, as I said, it's a lot easier now. But it was finding the right people doing these things, and it became finding ways to buy property with very little money left in or no money down.
Did you find any challenges with planning as well as maybe mortgage lenders, mortgage finance with your model?
Okay, so it was a time where getting mortgages and finance was relatively easy, and they were a lot more flexible than they are today. When I say that, I mean today when you buy a property and you want to convert it, you have to usually go down the bridging route. If you want to use it as a HMO, you got to get a commercial mortgage and things like that. Whereas the properties that I have and the mortgages that I have, they covered more, as in like they covered more areas. So they did cover things like HMOs. So they were a lot easier to get in that sense. So today I think there's more products available, but they're geared to the specific areas, and that's what we do.
Okay, so when you are converting the properties and doing parts of them as HMOs and parts as flats, were you doing title splits or just putting everything in one? What was your experience around the different models, if at all?
I was keeping them on a single title.
Yeah.
The reason for that was the products that the mortgage products that I was getting. It made it easier to just have it on a single title. Had I split it into had I split the titles, then I would have needed to get separate mortgages for each one, and then it would have been different products. Yeah. And for that reason, it stayed as it is on a single title.
Yeah, on the single title. Okay, no, that's great. That's great. So, fast forward to today. Where are things now, and what's happening with you?
If you fast forward to now, I mean, last I'd say if you go back 11 years, I was retired for 10 years. Yeah. I only came back to property about a year ago. Yeah. A year ago. To do what I do best, or what I enjoy most, which is structuring deals, and that's what I'm back into doing now. So I've currently exchanged on a property, which is a title split. See, the ones that I did with previously, I wouldn't do the title split because the mortgage product means it's beneficial to keep it on one single title. Whereas the ones that I'm buying now, it actually makes more sense to add the value by splitting the titles. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm purchasing a property and splitting the title. And I've got a few more in the pipeline as well, both title splits and vendor finance. And I've got one which is hopefully going to be going through, which I've made an offer on. And if the vendor accepts, will be an assisted sale.
Oh, cool. That's great. So at the moment, do you just do stuff for yourself, or you offer the service to other investors or other people who are looking to either do deals with you or get properties from you or any kind of help from you? What's the current model?
I love JVing. So I JV with people that are looking to enter the market, whether it be rent to rent, because as I said, I've been doing HMOs for 18 years now. So I understand that model, including all the licensing, legislation, plus planning side of things. So I help people to get onto the ladder, and I JV with them because it's, as I said, it's almost similar to what I did when it was the market stall holders. I invest in somebody, help them to get up, and I also earn something in return, which I love that model because it's a win-win. So that's what I'm doing on that side of things. But again, I help people find their strategy as well. So I see a lot of people doing loads of different strategies, but if they don't understand what they have in terms of money, times, experience, and their own personality, they may be chasing something or a strategy which doesn't really work, or they won't make the best out of it. So some people have plenty of money and they want to go down rent to rent HMO, for instance. That's probably not the best strategy for them in terms of how far they can get in 5 years. It probably will not get them to their financial freedom point the way they were expecting it. They'll probably have a job instead of the current job that they have. Whereas if they've done it slightly differently, they may be able to get to their financial freedom figure a lot quicker and in a much easier way. So that's one of the things I do help people find their strategies. But I'm always looking for people to JV with.
To JV, great. And just going back to the early days as well. So university and then investing in property. Did you have was there a point where you were actually in full-time employment? Did you leave uni and then went to work and worked for someone, or did you just cut all that out and ventured straight into business and investment?
The last year of property, I set up an IT company to do basically installation and maintenance of networks. So that's one of the things I was good at. So I used to set up voice over IP systems, telephone systems, IP CCTV when it was in its infancy. So it was pretty good, as in like it was both voice over IP and IP CCTV systems were quite new. So it was a unique business. Now it's quite commonplace. But after about, I think it was about 18 months of doing that, I sold that off and went fully into property.
Yeah.
So I've never actually had a full time. I've never had a full time job working for property.
Wow, that's good. That's good. But that has worked for you, isn't it? So you've never sought that kind of stability of just getting a job, getting stuck in there, and moving on. You've always been looking at all this entrepreneurship and a business. Yeah,
I've had jobs. So I've been working for instance, I did work at Sainsbury's, and prior to that, I worked in McDonald's. Now, although I've had jobs, I never saw them as what's going to make me happy or make me financially free. Now, I know a lot of people may go through school, college, university, and then get a job and think this is what's my security.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a job as security. That's probably my main reason why I've never really wanted a job.
Yeah.
Having yourself as your own boss is probably the worst thing, but I feel a lot more secure knowing that I know how to make the money.
Yeah.
So I feel very comfortable being with that knowledge that if you know how to make money, you're never poor, right? Yeah. So it's almost like the fish and giving the man a fish he eats for a day, or teach him how to fish and he feeds himself for a lifetime. So I feel the fact that I know how to make money, I'm a lot more comfortable, and I never feel poor, because if I ever need to make more, I just have to implement more.
Yeah, absolutely. So having those life skills that you can deploy, because essentially, even if you were to lose or give up everything now, you can guarantee yourself that you can replicate this in the next 6 months or a year or whatever, and bring yourself back up to where you need to be. So those life skills and business skills are actually key to because essentially you're making yourself more valuable by investing yourself in that knowledge. So that's really, really good to see. Okay, cool. So in terms of your investment patch, is it mainly in London, or do you venture outside into all over the UK? What's your...
Okay, so my current portfolio majority is in London and the surrounding counties, but I don't have a gold mine area. So a lot of the time people will speak or say they have a gold mine area, so that might be London or Birmingham or Manchester, wherever they might be. So my focus is more on strategy. So I'm deal centric rather than area centric. So if the deal is right, then I will do it. And the reason for that is my passion is in actually doing the deals, structuring the deals. So once I've actually bought the property, I don't actually want to manage it. So I will give it to somebody else to manage the property. So my focus is more on actually doing the deals.
Great. Okay, good. So what about sort of outside property, like family and Bangladesh and everything else? Do you get to go to Bangladesh or travel around, or what stuff do you do outside of all this?
I do like to travel. I did go to Bangladesh just before the pandemic and the lockdown. Sorry, I'm just gonna. So I did go to Bangladesh just before the lockdown, and I enjoy traveling. But and I've got 4 children. I'm married with 4 children. They keep me quite.
What are the ages? How old are they?
So my oldest is 10. So my daughter's 10 years old. My son is he just turned 9 2 days ago. And I've got a daughter who is 6 and a daughter who is 4.
Yeah, so they'll probably grow up with a different mindset around business and school and everything, isn't it? They'll probably follow what you do and see what you do around adding value on properties, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife is of the mindset of everything is limited. Money doesn't grow on trees, but I don't like to give them that mindset. So if my child or if any of my children do kind of say, "Oh, we don't have the money for this and this and the other," I say, never think of it like that. Just think of how you can get it. If you want something, think of how you can get it.
You can get it.
Never have that mindset that, oh, we're poor or we can't or somebody else has more. It doesn't matter what somebody else has.
Yeah.
That's be happy for them. But if you want something, just find your path or find a way to get it.
Yeah. Wow. That's a very key interpretation there, in sense of you're thinking of how can I, if you need money for something, it's not that I don't have the money, but flip it the other way around. What can I do to get the money so I can get this? So that's a very subtle but very important mindset shift there. So how do you, what's your experience of Bangladesh and life out there? Like how people live? It must be quite different, obviously, to here. And how do you resonate the two, and even like your kids as well, spanning across those worlds?
My children haven't been to Bangladesh. I only went, I think, since I came at the age of 1, I've only been 3 times. Twice. So the last time I went was about the age of 22. Yeah. Prior to this year. And this year, the reason I actually went was because my father passed away last year, and I had to go and deal with his estate.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah.
That's the reason. Otherwise, I probably would not have gone.
Yeah.
But going there, it's a very different lifestyle. Definitely.
Yeah. Can imagine.
Very different lifestyle. And I think definitely by being here, there's lots of opportunities here. But if you can change or shift people's mindsets over there, they have so much opportunity, but they just don't realize it. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's that I guess it's that difficulty of the availability of resources, especially more around the knowledge and the thing. But the thing I find in places, even like for me in Africa, people with what they know and what they have, they're still happy within their own world, because they just make the best of what is there, and because that's what they know. Because in most cases, there's no benefit in crying over, oh, if I was this, if I was that, or if I could do this. Just make the best of what you have to the best of your abilities, and then you can just as be happy in Bangladesh or in Africa or in Malawi or here, So that's the key as well. Cool.
You have the community. This is what it is, though. If your community is entrepreneurial, or your community is afraid to do things, that's how everybody instills it in you as well. So when I was in Bangladesh, they are very entrepreneurial. But they also, I think you might even find it in your country, where people from UK will send them money, and it's almost like they don't want to work. If they can make it for free, then that's what they want. So they'd rather just have rather than learning how to create a business. And that is probably the worst thing over there. But they have got so much opportunities. When I was there, I think in these countries, third world countries, there is so much opportunity. But they just not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Okay, cool. So, I mean, if someone was looking to make a start in any particular venture or business, property or otherwise, I mean, from your experience and things that you've gone through, what would you say are the sort of key things that they should think about in terms of challenges that they may face, and how to actually sort of tackle those? What would be your key lessons over the years of your experience?